Well, welcome back to Show Me the Money Rugby League TV. This is the big one. They don't get much bigger or any bigger than this for any imagination. After 20 plus years, 2 decades, the Ashes return to Rugby League. It is the pinnacle of this great sport. It is England against Australia in a free test match series, and that gets underway at Wembley Stadium, the National Stadium, on Saturday afternoon. The second test will take place at the brand new Bramley Dock Everton Stadium, which is, I think, Saturday the 1st of November, and then on 8th of November, the third test, where a lot of England supporters will be not praying, but they will hoping, and perhaps a little bit of expectation, that it could be 1-1, or who knows, potentially England even 2-0 up. Potentially. I think the expectation is for 1-1, a level series, going to Headingley in that third test.
2-0, mate.
Oh, Joe saying 2-0 to
Come
England.
on, mate. 2-0.
Controversy corners here already.
I'm going for it.
He's going for it. But yes, hopefully we're going the distance, and there's still something to play for at Headingley. As we know, Everton has sold out. Headingley sold out in record fashion. Jimmy, unfortunately, can't get a ticket for the Headingley game. We're all in hospitality. So I had to get that one in, Jimmy. Sorry, Jimmy. No, I'm sure he can worm his way in.
I'll be eating your starter, mate, don't you?
I'm sure Jimmy can worm his way in.
He won't be.
But on to, obviously, the first test. We've mentioned Everton and Leeds sold out. I was told yesterday by the RFL that it's past 56,000. It is more than likely going to be past 60. Yeah. It is going to be a record England-Australian crowd in this country, which is unbelievable. And potentially the record to beat, I was told, was 74,000 for an international crowd. Can it get to 74? If it gets to 74, all bets are off.
We're asking a lot.
All bets are off. But, Jimmy, Joe, Craig, if you look at the clubs now, and this is refreshing, all the clubs in the past have not always been cohesive together and worked together. But this morning when I woke up, Huddersfield, Bradford, now a Super League club, Leeds, UKR, they're all pushing the £20 tickets for the upper bowl. The lower bowl at Wembley is sold out. There's over 56,000 tickets sold. It's going to be a record crowd of some description. We just don't know how big.
Have you? Can I ask this? Sorry, have you got any tickets for it? Because have the RFL give you some tickets?
I have got tickets for the game on Saturday. Yes.
You're off to Wembley.
I'm off to Wembley on Saturday.
How many? If you're coming to Headingley, mate, we need some help for Wembley.
What do you mean? Oh,
yeah.
It's not sold out though, so you can't say that. We're trying to sell it out.
This is no kid. I am. If it won't for Mary's in London, and I fancy going on Saturday. Quickly, I fancy going. I think it's one I don't want to miss. So if I got the tickets, but then somebody'd have to look after dogs.
Well, Joe's asking if we can get him some tickets. We'll
pay. Don't worry. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go.
Do you know what would be brilliant?
We were joking. Thank you, though, mate.
It'd be brilliant if
I've asked the question if Joe can have a freebie. These aren't freebies. This is payment for my hard work for the Rugby Football League this year.
Do you know what would be great? Is
Craig knows how hard I've worked this year behind the scenes for the Rugby Football League. So look.
If they could put a train on or a couple of trains on, because train tickets last minute, that's problem to London.
Oh, right.
You could be 150. Well, you know better than anyone. So it's such a shame that now, spontaneously, loads of people will be getting caught up in it.
They're caught up in the England Australia.
You can get a ticket for £20. It's like, well, that's amazing, but I'm still 300 in for a day. And that's what makes it art.
That's
Otherwise,
why
it's
forward thinkers who book tickets are buzzing like me.
Well,
who's off to the sold out Everton Stadium.
But I do think this strategy is great because
do you know that? Let me tell you something. Let me finish here. I paid $2,000 for a table for Leeds at Headingley.
I know you did. You told us.
He bought the Everton. He went and got Everton tickets, and I said, "Did you get me some?" He went, "I didn't think about asking you."
Well, because I presume he gets his own. He's never once needed them. So.
And you've got Wembley. You want to ask me now? I'm going to put you on my table. Well, let me tell you both.
We're off. Mick. We're off.
Jimmy, you're on table one, son. Used to.
But it's a good idea, innit? I think, just very quickly, to sell out the Northern stadiums like that, because now people are going, why Headingley? Why not Ellen Road? We could have filled Ellen Road. It's like, yeah, but by doing it this way, we're just creeping up that London attendance. Because if you want to get to a game,
it's reverse
it has to
psychology.
be Wembley.
You know what?
It's not a bad strategy.
It's a good shout, but I tell you what, I'm thinking on, and it's crazy now. I think that we should have got a coach on a minibus. It'd have been the right fun, wouldn't it? Could have got you Saturday morning, not minibus, laughing your head off. Got there. I know it's a 4-hour journey, 5 hours, but if you're having fun, it's quick, innit? And if they get the result on Saturday, coming on, that bus ride's worth £1 million.
It's us, innit? We just think that now it's like, why are we not going?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking exactly that.
Hopefully, most people are more organised. But to be fair, to what your point, we're getting caught up with a bit of positive
I did say to Mary yesterday, I said, you know what? Mary's in London, obviously know us at mum and dad's. So I actually said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to ring Joe and say, do you fancy it, Jim? I didn't know I was going to say, who fancies it? But it is late and it's the train tickets and it's the typical. But I tell you what, because I've got a good idea, I'm hoping some of the players shown me are in. I've got to be there, we've got to be there representing them.
Joe, it looks like you're coming on train with me on Saturday morning.
So it looks like I'm looking after them dogs, mate. That's what it looks, sadly.
He wants to get his seat back on the table for anyone.
Well, look, we tried to set the scene. There's going to be a record crowd of some description at Wembley. Wembley will be the epicentre of the sporting universe at 3 o'clock, or should I say 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a great occasion. So England, obviously, I know I watched the show that I couldn't be on last week, and just to clarify, the England 24-man squad. So these are the players that Sean Wayne has at his disposal: John Bateman, AJ Brimson, Joe Burgess, Darryl Clark, Kirby Farnworth, Ethan Havard, Morgan Knowles, Matty Lees, Mikey Lewis, Jez Litton, Mike McMeekan, Harry Newman, Mikolaj Aledzki, Tom Johnston, Kai Pearce-Paul, Harry Smith, Morgan Smithies, Owen Trout, Alex Walmsley, Jake Wardle, Callum Watkins, Jack Wellsby, George Williams and Dominic Young. So he's clearly got some headaches, as Sean Wayne, and I don't really want to go over old ground about the Jake Connor argument and some of the other players that have missed out. But it was interesting because I actually was looking at a previous show that we did. It was 2 or 3 years ago when the Aussie Schoolboys came over last. Obviously, they're playing in Papua New Guinea because sadly the RFL don't have any money to bring them over, which I think is an absolute shame and a travesty. Imagine as a curtain raiser at Wembley. I know. Imagine as a curtain raiser at all these games. You have.
Gotta be in tears.
Unbelievable.
The best day ever.
And I have communicated this to the RFL, and to be fair to the RFL, they do acknowledge that there has been failings. You know, the money which John Bastian and Simon Bell famously said on this show that it had been spent. They were given X amount of money, the RFL, and they had spent the vast majority of it in year one. So there wasn't any money. There was no money in the coffers to bring them over.
Listen,
I agree.
They could have reached out to Big Hitters in our game. Ask, if you'd have got Simon Moran, Matt Ellis, and 3 or 4 of them and said, guys, it's 100,000 quid, they'd have gone, bum, in 10 seconds. Let me tell you, 10 seconds.
But they didn't, sadly. But it was interesting looking at that last sort of schoolboys team. So, for instance, like, me and Craig had a quick gander, and I was writing them down. So, out of the team, the side that beat the Aussie Schoolboys in the series 2-0, Jack Wellsby, St Helens, obviously he is in. Harry Newman, that's 2. Innes Senior was in that side. Cameron Scott, Callum McClelland, Harry Smith, we know. Owen Trout, we know is in that side. He was playing for Huddersfield. Oliver Wilson, Huddersfield. Corey Johnson, Leeds. Ethan Havard, Wigan.
Ethan Havard's in.
He's in, yes, he's in. Sam Walters, Leeds. Morgan Smithies, who of course was Wigan, he's in. Moses Mustafa, Tom Holroyd, Louis McConnell, Mikey Lewis, he's in.
Yeah, well, Mikey didn't met the
no, but he was in.
He met the Origin.
I'm including the
Origin.
Yeah. Because Rowan Milnes, obviously, who's now at Bradford, he featured for the Yorkshire against the Aussie schoolboys. So you could see clearly, just as a kind of reference point, there's 8 players who featured in that.
Magnificent.
That's really
and that shows you the importance of having an academy, an elite academy, a scholarship, reserves, everything that comes under that junior development and that commitment to junior development. We've just got 8 players there in the last England Aussie schoolboys who have now played for England Aussie schoolboys, who are now actually potentially going to be running out at Wembley against the likes of Reece Walsh, Cameron Munster, Pat Carrigan, Harry Grant, Angus Crichton, etc. But yes, that underpins, and that's good for the RFL. That's good for rugby league in this country.
It's funny, mate, because we talk about our youth, and let's stick to what we're on with. But quickly, we've just beat Penrith. Warrington have just put 52 points on Penrith.
I watched it. I couldn't believe it.
They put their side out. We've had loads of feedback saying, how good are these? And we're saying, well, Leeds had a good side, they've had a good side. They would have beat the Aussies. There is no doubt. And we need to look at why from junior. Well, will someone see if it's going to work in next 3 test series? But we have no problem with beating Aussies next 10 years at under 18 level. For some reason, they just don't live with you. And there's no doubt, I think physically we got better from that squad. I think that were a brilliant squad. But I think if they'd have picked one this year, mate, oh my would have been, God.
Pack would have been 6'4".
It'd have been like some attack. Then you just bashed them. Then they just got nowhere near them.
And that is my underlying sadness. And I hope, I spoke to someone quite high up at the RFL about it. And he understood my passion. He understood why, this is a missed opportunity. And I don't want this to come across as negativity or pessimism. But, when you look back to those players, like we say, Wellesby, Newman, Sedia, McClellan, Smith, Trout, Havard, Smithies, Milnes,
Lewis. There's 2 or 3 there who are looking not to get in. You'd have to say,
Sam Walters would have been
very close to me, and a couple others were in.
But to have that opportunity, so I'm thinking of the young players now who could have been coming up against the up-and-coming NRL stars. It is a gap year. I got told by the RFL, it is a gap year. They hope in the next sort of 2-3 years, this England Aussie schoolboys is back. It's back in the calendar and it's locked in and it never goes away again. Because, like I say, Craig, I do feel for the sort of academy players of this generation who are going to miss out on such a fantastic experience.
100%.
Game one, mate. Come on, game one. Let's get stuck in.
Before we go into the squad and how you think England are going to line up, obviously Australia have put theirs out. I'll just quickly get this over and done with. So regarding the match officials, it's going to be groundbreaking scientific evidence that is going to be used to determine who referees the 3rd test. So Liam Moore from Wigan, he's English. He refereed the grand final. He is going to officiate at Wembley on Saturday. So massive round of applause for Liam Moore. Consistently one of the best match officials in the Super League on the international scene. So he follows in the footsteps of Steve Ganson, Russell Smith, Robert Connolly in officiating an Ashes test match, England-Australia. The 2nd test at Everton will be controlled by Grant Atkins, who of course officiated the Australian NRL grand final. And in the past, obviously, Australia have sent us Gerard Sutton, Tony Archer, Bill Harrigan, you might remember from way back. Ashley Klein as well. So obviously Grant Atkins, a new face. He will do the 2nd one. And then, as always is the case, I don't want to make it out England and Australia squabbling behind the scenes. They're actually going to use scientific-based evidence. This is what the RFL told me. It's going to be, they're not just going to take the opinion of the spotters in the stands. They're actually going to comb through which referees made the most errors, and whoever is the best man or whoever has performed out of the 2 tests, they will get the nod for the 3rd test.
That's ridiculous.
I know we're talking about.
Come on, mate, let's get stuck.
I know we're talking about.
Who makes the decision?
This was a joint decision by the NRL and the RFL.
Yeah, but where's the scientist from? Like, who's making the decision? I don't care how we get into it.
It's going to be a joint decision with the RFL and the NRL. Yeah, they're going to look at the evidence. Yeah.
Oh, so they're going to come together.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, they just do out of wrong mistakes.
Yeah, I know you're itching to get into the players.
No, it's a great point. I agree.
I just think for the first time ever,
because protection is everything.
Because I am almost certain if you speak to Matty P or Willie Peters, two coaches at the top of the game, I'm almost certain they will use
Let me tell you,
scientific evidence.
I can hear this quickly. The thing is, the way NRL's played is fast ruck. We're a lot slower ruck. If they let it flow in the first test to the speed of what NRL do it, we won't know what's it to us. It'll be like being in fast lane in
Grant
a
will
car.
find that space.
Well,
yeah.
and if we slow it down, then they'll get frustrated because they're playing our rules, which is a lot slower ruck. So you're looking for something in the medium. I still think that's the eye of the beholder. The players and the staff are the best people to tell you. I think if it's test match you've got to let it go. This has got to be dealt with and refereed like Origin. It's got to be, if somebody puts an eye shot in first 5 minutes, let it go. Get the 10-minute out. Don't be pulling no red cards out unless they're toe-to-toe, and even then don't do it. You can sell this game as the greatest game in the world, Mick. The referee has a big thing on that. We've got to, them referees have got to let it go here. We cannot play our rules. Can you imagine stopping 57 times?
The only
at
issue
Wembley
is,
in front of a million people?
Do you think we can we beat the Aussies if it's fast?
I think it's a great question. We want to play a bit slower than they do because they're used to it, but they're not used to our conditions. Reece Walsh will never see out like side this muddy here at Wembley. They won't know what's in them.
It's not going to be muddy at Wembley.
Well, you know what I'm saying. It's windy. It's going to be windy. It's going to be wet. I've seen it. I'm lucky enough to see
Hopefully
it.
It's windy.
And I've watched it, and I've seen the faces when they come, and they sat there going, Jesus Christ. We've got everything in our favour to make sure that we want. I think our players are gagging for a fast ruck. Absolutely. Mikey Lewis will be saying, I've never had one all year.
Yeah.
Let's play Jez Litton. Come on. They'll be saying, give us fast rucks. The question is obviously they're more used to that, but the weather. I can't wait to see Reece Walsh when bombs going off.
We need bad weather.
And he's stood there, he's thinking, what's going off? He's gone 15 metres with wind over there. Hey, Mick, I'll say this again. Willie Mason has lit this touch paper up that good.
And Andy Farrell, yeah.
And but that Willie Mason one, when he said it's better than Origin, it's 10% better speed. The referees have got to get excited and go, you know what? What we don't need is the game being about the ref. And I know we don't want a Mormon situation after 8 seconds, knocking you clean out with elbow. But I still even think then you've got to go, you'd love now a man to say, listen, the promoter of this needs to say, come and watch the most exciting skill game of violence on a pitch in your life. I would fire it up like you have never heard in your life and get it up to a crescendo of these next three. I think this changes England Rugby League forever. It's the biggest comment I'm going to make.
Let's hope
this whether we win or lose, I think this is the best boost we're ever going to have for our sport in the last 50 years, Mick. Rugby union was changed with Johnson, Wilkinson, and that on. It changed everything, all the schools. This could be the greatest platform we get ever because it's the first one. Is it first one in 20 years?
23 years. 23 years.
We've got to grab this, lads, with everything we've got and ride it.
I think we're doing really well so far with the promotion. But for that to happen, we have to beat them. And I think we need bad weather and it has to be slow to have a chance.
I don't think slow. I'm not.
I like your take.
Debate.
And I don't want it to be slow because I
we've
want to
not
see
picked
it
a slow team other than maybe Walmsley in the pack. We've got a load of. So what NRL have gone to now? This is what I'm going to get the debate up now. NRL's props aren't these massive 6'6" big
Willie Masons
anymore. NRL's gone that fast that they're going towards our style of props. So if you look at their prop line that they've announced, sorry Mick, I appreciate you doing this by the way.
I had to
Pat Carrigan, over Tino is, but we've got Walmsley, size for size there, but Pat Carrigan, Crichton, Hudson Young are not the biggest men you will ever see. We will match them size for size. We might even have, for the first time maybe in history, we will have the bigger pack. Maybe not in history because I watched a highlight of Farrell and then they were massive, but it's first time in 20 years that we will have maybe the bigger pack and faster. Their props are going towards our style of props, which are 6 foot, but not too big, not thin, but agile, fast, raw speed. We beat them at
our two halves will run the ball more than Munster and
let him run. He's on the roll.
So I think in terms of pack for pack talent, maybe not talent as such, but in terms of fast run, I think I think we beat them for speed. The one area we don't beat them for speed is the outside backs. For the yardage, I don't think we beat them. They've got the faster outside backs.
I disagree with you. It's the worst comment I've ever heard.
Go on then. Well, that's ridiculous.
Well, you just said faster out. You think
Reece Walsh faster than Wellesby.
he's a fullback?
Faster than Wellesby, who's a fullback.
Yeah.
Miles faster. Adokar. Dom Young.
Would you say Tom fell out and Dom Young?
No. Dom Young,
Wow.
possibly. Dom Young. Adokar.
Tom recorded has been absolutely there with.
And we've not seen it this year. Tom, brilliant, but we've not seen that go this year yet.
You'd argue Tom's probably lost a yard, although
I think, like I said, in terms of a player, he's fantastic, but in terms of top end speed, I don't know. I think that's where they.
Well, one thing we do know is Wembley.
Wardle's a
and
9.8, 9.9.
There's a lot of space.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
And
of
you're
space.
telling me we're all saying this also like Herbie's electric.
Yeah,
So I'm
electric.
challenging
So
a bit,
might
Joe.
even better then.
Do you think we'll get to any of them at full speed anyway?
Yeah,
For
I
them
think you're going to
carries,
see.
yeah,
I think
for
you're
them
going to see
carries.
this. Listen, you watch an international game if you've been close. I've never watched Origin. I wish I could. I've never been. I know one thing for sure. After 20 minutes, they're all that knackered. That everyone's tension's that bad. That suddenly the gaps will come, and when the gaps come, you look at. I've just said there, George and Mikey. I'd like to see Jez. You know what I'd like to see? Here's my dream. Let's see it first 20.
Yeah.
And they kick the shit out of each other. Let's talk it right as it is.
Yeah.
We want the kitchen sinking. We want 25 grabs with heads going in. I want it fired up. I want to see all this action. And so people watching it for the first, my God, what's this? It's electric.
Yeah.
Then want to see everyone calm down. And the rucks are fast. And Jez Litton's just warming up. And it's got a lovely fast ruck. And then we see Mikey running ball. And all of a sudden, we met these Aussies. Like Joe would say, we might make them look a bit slower than they are. I think we need. I don't think we can. If they get it lead, we've had it. This is how I see it. Munster can control a game, and so can Clear it at the level they've done it. We haven't got George and Mikey. Don't even talk about. Can they control a game at that level?
Yeah.
No, George has never done it. Controlled it. He's been a runner. Mikey's a runner. He's turned his game round now to add that to his game, but he's only done it in the grand final once. These two have played in 25, 30 Origins. They've been capped about 50 times between them. We can't afford for them to get a stranglehold at field position because they will strangle us to death. Cleary can hit you on a sixpence and he'll just go slow. But then we're slowing it down, slow, bang. They've got us on kicking game, in my opinion. Harry Grant's got a lovely way of playing the hooker. It's pass, then he goes, but he's a big physical. He'll know what to do. These are played in massive games. That Origin gives them a massive advantage. Yeah. Let's all be honest.
Totally.
They play in 3 games a year, which is electric.
Where that intensity level is
on a scale.
out of the stratosphere, yeah.
But you can sometimes use excitement for your own good and recklessness. And I think if we run the ball, and this is my thing to Sean Wayne, we're all behind you, Sean, by the way. They did a terrible interview on him yesterday. And they've had a go at Sean, looks a bit, peglet and all. And I've heard this terrible, demeaning comments. Well, Wayne, we're all behind you now. We've had our opinions, but now it gets to now. There's everybody who's against Sean now should not be allowed to watch Rugby League yet. We've all got to get behind Wayne, right? I think Wayne needs to quicken everything up. I think that's where the chances are. I think we'll run them to death because you're not going to see us doing, like I said, the structured bit, what they're very good at. I know they've been playing an open brand this year, but they've still got a lot of controlled players in there. I think we've got to go for it from the start. I think you don't want the Aussies in lead because they know how to keep a lead. We're not very good. Let's be honest, how many Super League games have we watched this year where you think take one and control game? We just seem to not be able to do it. We can miss 12 opportunities to take a 1-pointer. We just don't know how many repeat sets do we get. Let's be honest, top clubs, how many repeat sets? That was
something
We're shocking at repeat sets.
Using the grand final as a I mean, it was all OKR going through the motions, but I totally agree, Craig. There were ample opportunities in that game. I mean, OKR probably didn't need the one, but that they attacked from both sides in each other's red zones. No goal line dropouts. No repeat sets. No pressure for
repeat sets at Old Trafford. It's the hardest ground in the world, except for Odsonne, to do repeat sets because being goals that big, innit?
So I mean, sorry, Jimmy. Throughout the season, it was shocking.
I agree.
We don't coach. Let's be honest. We don't coach that skill. We don't coach enough. They reckon clearing them, and what they'll spend 3 hours a week just doing it. I've watched it, all the videos.
It's their game.
It's their game. So what we can't afford is the stranglehold.
Strangle, yeah, it's good.
Even when, I don't know if you were there, I were there at Wembley when we played the Kiwis, and famously we made one mistake, and the halfback Johnson
went through. Yeah,
I can remember getting on that train on. I've never been as sick in my life.
2013,
and we just couldn't control that. We had to give field position away.
We worked our backsides off. Sam Burgess scoring, and everybody literally 30 seconds to hold on, and it crumbled.
Sinfield's biggest regret of his career is
and if you were honestly, but what I'm trying to say is, Wayne, let's sit him with kitchen sink. Let's what Joe's saying. If we've got physicality over them, let's just run them to death. We need to shock these, and we can quote this, and I hope you don't mind. We've recently met our friend, haven't we? Who's our new friend?
Big Mal
Meninga. There's a name drop for you. And we all got the chance to speak to Big Mal about what's going to happen in the future. And we asked him about a test match, and I hope you don't mind us quoting him. He said, guys, usually that first test, I think he called us the Poms, give it the kitchen sink. The Aussies then regress and intensify for the second test. Let's hope for the good of the game we all go to Leeds and it's on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you've got the ferocity of an all-seater stadium sold out, and that he thinks that cauldron will bring out the best out of both teams. He obviously wants the Aussies to win 2-1. We'd say we've got to take it to Headingley. I'll be happy what Joe said if it's 2-0 and we don't. Headingley's a celebration. I'm not bothered. I'd go there and you'd see a few people get a debut. I wouldn't be bothered.
No, I agree.
The pressure's off.
It would be unbelievable.
But my tactics, I'll let the lads come in now. My last tactic would be play it fast, get the referees to play it fast. Don't play with fear and aggression. Go for it, exactly. Let the Aussies, who are still acclimatising, they're over here, let's hit them with everything in that first 25. Jez Litton comes in after 20. Daz Clark says, thanks very much if that's the case. Bang, gone. Let's just shock the hell out of them, right? I hope we're 12 up at half time. Jimmy says the spread bet is -14 England. That's very disrespectful. Very disrespectful to us.
You think?
Oh my God. Game. Without a doubt, it's disrespectful. Wayne will be pinning that on board. He said last night, Wayne, he said...
You never see a poor bookie.
Aaron, let me tell you, you do a rugby league. Aaron Woods has said that he thought Wayne's speech was like an old man walking around the park, like, bloody hell, well done, come on England. And he's had a right go. And Wayne went, well, I watched him play. He didn't really, I'd have given him a proper spray. I thought Wayne would be well man. And I said, listen, he's not good enough to talk about us. He's never watched an England Super League game. What if know what he's on about? Willie Peters says that, I take it. If this is all about a game, Willie's here. If they're that arrogant, let's fire it up.
Yeah,
they won't even watch a game of ours. They won't even know what our players are. Do you know what you'd be saying? They're talking about Herbie, and by the way, the lads have said in camp, Herbie's a superstar. The boys have just corrected me. It sounds like it's a superstar. Right? They won't know any others. Honestly, they will have no clue what some of our players are. I'm telling you. Yeah. They'll have little bits. Oh, what's he like? They might know George because he played there.
Yeah.
So every the thing I found hilarious, and I've reworded that, the thing I found interesting but suits exactly that. Every predicted team I've seen that an Aussie media or an Aussie person it's the full lineups, all the Aussie players that have played in NRL, and then the rest just filled in with the grand final players, because they've heard of him. The rest of them, they don't have a clue. So if I were the St Helens players, who probably haven't been, but their pack's as formidable as any in the world, there's a few players here that will come on and be playing that they won't have a clue about. They've, like I said, they maybe watched one final where Jez and Mikey, but they won't know anything. They're not talking Mikey Lewis.
But they don't know who Tom Johnson is.
They won't have a clue.
They'll be saying Dom Young, and they'll be saying, well, Dom Young's got it tied and it's been rubbish for the last 12 months. There'll be a lot of disrespect.
Yeah.
Wayne is the best person in the world with that disrespect for team talk. I tell you now, if they watch the Wigan Warriors one, he'll close that door and he'll say, right, lads. And do you know what I like, Mick? You get so many chances in your life. Herbie said it this morning. Did you see what he said?
No.
He said, I'm going to give it everything because this is probably the last time I'm going to get to play in a 3-test. I don't know why he said it. I don't know whether he's saying in Australia. He said, I'm not going to get a chance to play at Wembley Stadium ever again and play these games. So I like that. It's like, right.
Well, it's not coming to Super League, Ben, is it?
No.
That's a shame.
But what I'm saying is, we've got this cauldron where we can go, lads, do you want to become heroes? Do you want to become the next superstar? By the way, all the best players of all time for the last, what we've all watched, have never beat the Aussies. Andy Farrell, never. Paul Sculthorpe. We can go through it. Ellery. On a test series, they've never beat the Aussies. So imagine what you can become. You can become something which, what would you call it? You could go down in history forever. This is that good. The best 25 players in Super League history have never beat the Aussies. Sam Burgess never beat the Aussies. James Graham, Adrian Morley's never beat the Aussies. You've got a chance to do something. And do you know what they'll do? If we beat them, they'll say they'll put a shit tick. They'll be like,
They can't though. That's the beauty of it.
That's it.
They can't.
So you've committed them all before.
They can. They will use that one.
But we know they've got. All right, we know they've said that clearly.
Yeah, but they're not all, but they are no longer Aussies. Like Aussies were lucky that we had all the Samoans and Tongans playing for them. I view it that way.
No, they're
This
all born in Australia.
Yeah, but
They are all Aussies. It's a different debate.
Yeah, but
they are all Australian.
But bottom line is they don't play for Australia anymore. They're playing for their countries.
Put it this way, the Aussies.
This is as good as it gets for that.
Well,
Look
look at you, Jimmy. Your nickname Paynas. He's gone to Tonga.
Very nice. Jimmy's named after put you capping my job then.
I knew we were going to come in.
Let me tell you, the Aussies they've picked, and the Aussies will say afterwards what the lads are saying. They'll come out with rubbish. Let me tell you, they've got Cleary, who they're saying is the greatest halfback to ever play. They're putting him better than Johns, which I think I'm not that, but they are. They're saying that this Reece Walsh is as good now as Slater were in his peak. So let's get that one. They're saying Munster has been every bit as good as Cooper Cronk and any of them. So he's there. The captain, they are saying these are generation players. Yeah. What a better chance to hammer them, honestly. Yeah. I'd love to see. And sometimes in life, what you don't know is dangerous. Let's hope they're that arrogant that they just think it's a thing. Let's hope that Herbie don't tell anybody he knows and he doesn't say, keep it quiet here and let's just unleash hell on them, mate. Let's unleash hell on them. They won't ever see. Harry Grant, me and Joe have had this debate, Jimmy Orlears. Sorry for being biased towards Jez, but we are. There's no apologies. Jez has come from nowhere at 26 and a half to be where he is. There won't be one person in Australia I can tell you because I've mentioned Jez before. Oh, they must think he's a cleaner, whatever he is. Harry Grant is revered now as being the next Cameron Smith. They're saying he's better than Cameron Smith were at his age. That's what they're all saying now, everybody. Joe pulls a face every time I says it. He thinks Harry Grant's not that good. Jimmy, Mick?
I think he's got, I think our Rookers match up with Grant.
But again, what a great challenge for Jess to come on and Daz to say, we're going to play against the world's best hooker. Where am I? I said something a couple of weeks ago saying, or Joe did, world class. You shouldn't call people world class till they prove it. But I tell you what, there's a lot of the question marks can be done here. Can Mikey Lewis run through the Aussies like he does in our comp? I mean, that can you imagine?
Questions,
and if there's one player to light up Wembley, let's be honest,
Magic Micah.
It's got to be because all the England fans will come together. Them are waiting. All you've got to go. We've all got Magic Mikey hats on. We've all got the. Hey, them Aussies won't like him. He's verbal.
I know that little shit, but he's good. That's what they'll be saying by the end
for this show, Craig. For those watching, obviously, we do not. We're doing this before the team is announced. The team's being announced tomorrow afternoon, so we're doing this before the team is announced. Obviously, we've got the Australian team. Should it be Mikey Lewis and George Williams, as a lot of people
I think it's got to be. I'd be worried about losing Harry's control of the game, which he's got, but I just think Harry's grand final this year, listen, on form, you'd have to play Harry and Mikey. George has not been a form player this year. You know he's going to play George. Yeah. He's made him captain.
Yeah.
So that's not.
And he's made it clear.
We can't talk about that. So in my personal opinion, I'd probably say Harry's unlucky. Harry's unlucky based on form because George hasn't played as well as Harry. Harry's not played as well as Mikey. That's fact.
Yeah.
But you've got to probably scare the Aussies with them too because if you get the ruck going And then you've got George. George has still got a brilliant running game. He can, and Mikey's got the. I wouldn't be passing that much, lads. I'd be running. I'd be saying to them all, run every time you get the ball, because
you've only got to look at Mikey Lewis's try.
You know it.
Final.
Yeah. You imagine Props getting a quick play, and then Jez goes, and then Mikey grabs and goes, George, and you're playing what I call reckless rugby, but it's like balls bouncing. I reckon that suits us down to ground. I think we could do things that they can't believe. We'll shock them to the boots. But what you don't want is them controlling that first 20 minutes and just going dink, dink. I were there, mate. I've been unlucky enough in my life at Ellen Road when they put 58 on us, and I have never been. I left with. I paid for a box, cost me a fortune. 10 minutes to go. I walked down them steps like a broken man. Brett Kamali and Lockyer, and what they did that day. I was there when Jared Hayne. I think I watched the Australia v New Zealand final. We needed England in it. And that one at best Aussie side, and they just turned a switch. It were like, scarily. It were like, whatever you lot think, you don't know what you're on about. We've got 3 gears that you can't go to. And they just switched all the way through tournament. It were like that. And then they went to a scale, and you're like, can they do that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I've got to tap out.
Oh, you haven't said, oh, come on, prediction before you go.
All right.
Jimmy's got to go, so Jimmy, we're looking in your prediction. Your prediction for this series. England.
First game.
Game 1 and the series.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. I thought that was brilliant, and I'm excited because the fact that you two who watch a lot more NRL than me think that a fast ruck speed can actually help us, not mean we've no chance. So I'm in on that. I think it's down to Mikey, and I think the best time ever was Mikey and Jez to have the games they had in the grand final. So there's no question marks about can we do it on our biggest stage. Those two have got to do it, and then Herbie. They're the 3 players. If we're to win the series, we 100% have to win at Wembley. I think most people agree that this is our best chance to be in.
Game 1.
Yeah. So I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to say we sneak this Wembley game. We sneak it by 2 points, and for that to happen, I think it's going to have to be low scoring. So I'm going to go 12-10. Mikey 100% has to start. There's no doubt about it. I agree totally what Craig has said. For the future, personally, I would love to see it. I think Harry and Mikey should be pairing. I'd say thank you, goodbye to George, but I understand Wayne has got a lot of trust in him. He's playing. Mikey has to play, no doubt about it. So we sneak the first game. They do us at Goodison, and then we take them to Headingley, and we do it at Headingley. That's the most positive outlook I can have it. And do I believe it can happen 100%? Do I believe we can take them on at Wembley when they're still a bit ropey, they've travelled, they've had a couple of sessions, they're so confident and so arrogant that they can win the second and third game if they want to. We have to take advantage of that and do the first 20 minutes, smash them up, turn them off, get them thinking about game 2 and 3 and make a series.
Player at series, Jim, before you go.
Mikey Lewis has to. If England win it, Mikey Lewis has to be the player of the series.
Wow.
Because he's the most dangerous man in the most important position.
You've got me on the Herbie train, used to. You've changed me now. I'm on the Herbie train.
I think Herbie's obviously the man, but does he have enough influential part in these sorts of games?
I think Mike's what's happening training. The boss said he's another level.
If we just see him passing to Herbie all the time.
I'm going to say Herbie for Hamworth gets my vote. Well, welcome back to the full 80 minutes on Show Me the Money Rugby League TV on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Jimmy's had to leave us, so he's just given his prediction. He thinks Mikey Lewis, the star of the Ashes, and England 2-1 winners. Wow, big, bold prediction there, Joe. Your turn, you're on the spotlight.
I've got it the opposite. I'm worried about Wembley. I know everyone's giving this line like, oh, the Aussies aren't going to be ready, but they've just finished the season. I think a lot of them will be ready. A lot of them... I've got a bit different one because Wembley is going to be full of Aussies as well. I think that's the bit people are forgetting. Everton is... I think there'll be more than 1,000, but it will feel like there'll be 1,000 Aussies at the Everton Stadium. It's going to be all English. The Wembley's the one where it'll be the closest 50-50 matchup fan-wise, and I think as what do they say, the 14th player in other sports, the extra players, the fan. I think the Aussies take game one. I think we'll have a lot of nervous players. I'm not saying Mikey will be nervous because his personality certainly isn't that, but we've got a few players here that haven't been there and played a lot of international games. I think we'll actually be a bit tense, maybe play a bit more passive rugby, not as aggressive, not all running fit. I think that comes with confidence. I think we lose game one closely, and I think that gives us the confidence to go win game two. I've got a feeling we'll come out of game one, the lads will all say, we can beat these. We've lost there. We've got a couple of things wrong. We've not played expansive rugby. The Aussie fans are cheering them on in London. They walk into Everton and it is a cauldron of 98. I'd love to know the figures of the.
Well, the ground holds 52,000. So if you're saying 1,000 Australian.
Well, obviously I didn't know the exact number. I'd love to see the split because Wembley is going to be closer. Everton. If it's 90% English, they're roaring, come on, England, singing the songs, the national anthem goes up, everyone's singing, and they say, come on then, let's go, let's take them on, 1-1, Headingley, we do not lose at Headingley. It's going to be 2-1 to the English, Mick. We might lose game one. I'm not, but I'm different. Everyone's going this game one. I'm not bothered. These lads are going to come out of it saying they're not as good as we thought they were. We can get them. We'll run. We'll play such attacking rugby that they won't know what's hit them in game two. I think I'm guaranteeing game two, Mick. I'm different. I'm guaranteed we do not lose at Everton. This is Yorkshire talking. Remember, Lancashire just have big as a fan base. They probably have more top clubs than Yorkshire do. Very equal. They've got all the Wigan, St Helens, Leigh, Warrington supporters are all going to be at this. This is their dream to have a game like this at a stadium, the new Everton ground. This is what dreams are made of. The St Helens fight's going to be mental. I don't know how we lose game two. I think the keys to the game, as I said, the outside backs that proved me wrong that I've read it through. I think, like I said, we probably match them very closely on speed. They might have slightly bigger outside backs in terms of yardage, so I think I should have worded that, but I think they'll beat us on yardage just because, Dom Young, it's not his game. Dom Young's a finisher, open field. I don't think, like I said, the Wigan centre in mid-flow, so I forget names. The Wardle's not a massive yardage man. So our two wingers of whoever it's going to be, probably maybe Joe Burgess and Dom Young are going to have to find. Joe can if
historically, I don't know if you remember when Ryan Hall and
but that was McGilvery and Ryan Hall, the best two.
Yeah, but they got a lot more joy than they were getting in Super League when they played them in them test matches. For some reason, they did get a lot of joy more than what they would.
But Ryan Hall and McGilvery have been our best 2 metre making wingers for the last 10 years.
I don't know if at that time. I think
Dom Young.
I think Ryan Hall wasn't as good as he was at last. Anyway, I'm just saying. I think this game brings you to. You're not going to want to take a carry. This is Wembley. This is test match. They're going to take carries. Wayne's going to make sure that if them back five miss a carry, they won't be playing. He will have them fired. You know, in life, if he said to you, you've got 80 minutes to change your life. This is it. I think.
Yeah, but yardage wise, they probably. Yeah. I think they beat that Mark. I can't even dare to pronounce his second name, but Mark Nakoris. I tried it.
Yeah, because I know Carr's not yardage man, is he?
No, but he has he has a good dig. Stags is a yardage man. Sibisaki is a good yardage man. So they've got good yardage man. That's the one area I'm not sure. We don't win for the first step. It's probably swapped.
Niwonga Itawazi, who was obviously on the outside of Tony Staggs. I don't know if you remember the try that he scored.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He got the NRL try of the year where he just literally down the touchline, kicks ahead. And
got tackled out, kicked it to himself mid-jump.
And I would agree with what Joe said. I do think that the Australian, that is probably where they hold a distinct advantage in that.
I genuinely don't think it will. I genuinely think we'll stand up and be counted on the day.
Course, but then
and I think physicality-wise, I think
hack-wise,
our fullback will get more. I think Reece comes across and he's more exciting, but I think we can get Wellesby on the ball and running it in. That don't worry me.
What worries you then?
The temperament, what you said at the start, what I said previous. They have been in the big games. That's the one thing that had terrified me, that they will
They've
know
got
what
the
to do.
experience of
If
that
they,
intensity,
I'll give you a little short one, Mick. I once met a lad who was in the changing rooms before the England, it might have been Great Britain v Australia, and he'd been around it like a ball boy or a thing, and he'd been in both changing rooms prior, and it went Morley that era, and he come out and he was shell shocked. He said, "What's the matter?" He says, "England are nutting walls. Vicks is going up." He said, Aussies just stood there with twingers on, trunks stretching off and talking about last night. He said, "I've just seen them spin it ball and they're saying, 'Hey, babe, what time are we going out tonight?'" He said, "I cannot believe they're that cool." He said there was no tenseness at all. They were just supremely confident, and they buried us that day, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me. I want us to unleash the dogs of war, the Smithies.
Yeah, you're highlighting preparation.
We
and
want
mindset,
Trouty
yes.
to play. They don't know Trouty. They don't know what they'll get off at Owen. You know, I want us to offload and try. I think we don't be found wanting against these. Do not be found wanting. Do not try and control. Wayne is renowned for grit, endeavour, not exciting rugby. If I'll be honest, it's not Sean's way. It's like, I'll win this by the battle, and the battle will win it completion. I'm probably going to spin that right on its head. I think we've got to come up with something, and come up with something that's so exciting that we go, give it them, lads, give it them that fast, quicken the rucks, play football, play off the back of it, and shell shock them. I'm opposite of Joe. I think Wembley's our big chance.
Why?
Because I still think they're acclimatising to this country. I think historically we win the first test match. I think we've won the first test match more than we have anything. And I think that they come, and I think Wembley's historic, and it's our place. It's our thing. I think Wembley Stadium, we're going to beat them, let's beat them at Wembley. We all dream, you know, you didn't go to the old Wembley. If we were going to beat somebody, it'd be at Wembley Stadium, because the English are coming from everywhere. The enthusiasm, Mick will tell you this, I don't know if Sam's been part of it. Once they beat us, right, it wanes off a bit. Like this test, it's so exciting at the moment, isn't it? But when you realise sometimes how good they are.
Well, that's when the hammer. Yeah, but if it's close, I'm not saying if they hammer us, of course it's all over. Game one, the hammer is all over. I think if it's close, if they'd win by a 2 point or a 4 pointer, I think we're at it. Why would we not be excited?
I just think historically we need to get off to a good start. I think when we've had a good go with them, it's when we've got off to a good start. I don't think we've ever lost first test match and come back and won.
Well, we've never won anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we've won this. What I'm saying is,
there's no design.
Usually, I think if you look at the stats, it'll be more often that we've won the first to have a chance.
But 23 years,
certainly
through history. There's no history in this. This is a fresh slate. This is a fresh slate here. There's no players. Mike and them haven't grew up with all this.
If we went, Joe, to Australia and played 3 test matches, I'd probably say we're going to add to the Aussies at favourite in first test match, purely because you're changing conditions and country and times. Everything's different. I would be saying that we get beat first test. I couldn't see how we could beat somebody. There's got to be an home advantage on this, on that first one.
But the Everton game, sure, tonight. What's it? 50,000 fans.
We're talking about the Wembley, and for me, let's get it won. And again, Mick, finish off.
It's interesting contrasting. Joe obviously thinks Australia game 1, and then England chase. You think England. Jimmy thinks England, and then the Australian chase. Very, very interesting.
I think Wayne, and because we're all going to get behind him, is so important to this. I think Sean's got to play with controlled aggression and control, but he's got to. I think Wayne's got to. Does he want to do it by wrestling him to death and slowing Rook down? This is what me horror is. That what they've played a faster brand this year than we have. There's no doubt. We haven't been allowed to do that. I hope that Sean doesn't stifle it and try and turn it into that. Do you get me?
Yes.
I hope he says, look, lads, we're going to let you loose here and let you play a bit of free rugby.
He's not going to. That's ridiculous.
Well, he hasn't got the kicking game, Joe, to do. Where's he going to get that kicking game from to be able to...
Yeah, but the box kick isn't. The sport's not designed around this marvellous kicking game, is it?
It is. The Aussies can do it, can't they?
No, not really. I don't see. You don't watch it.
You've not watched the history of Australia. They will, on this stage, they can make it on a sixpence.
I agree with you, and Cleary's the best kicker in the world. But that's not well. What are their tries to score from wild, stupid, daft kicks that because they're playing that free and
Listen,
that fast.
First 20, the boring cliche is 99% completion, box kick, kick chase. I get it. We all know that's a cliche. Wayne will want to do that for 80 minutes. That's my problem. And I think against the Aussies, you're probably the wrong people to do that with, in my opinion.
Right, let us know in the comments, please. Hopefully you've enjoyed this insightful edition of what will be one of, I'm sure, a couple of these shows throughout this Ashes England Test Series. If you haven't got tickets yet, please, Wembley, £20. You're up in the gods, but trust me, there's not a poor seat at Wembley. And for £20, England, Australia, the first time in 23 years, don't get much bigger than that. We're all confident England are going to win the Ashes for the first time in over 2 decades. You know, 3 amazing Test matches, and again, you know, you've just got to look at that Australian side, and it's full of stars, just to see if we can match the best in the world. We will see. But yeah, please let us know in your comments how you think the game's going to go. 2-1 England, 3-0 England, 3-0 Australia, and who you feel the star of the Ashes is going to be. And as always, thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and we'll do it all again soon.